We've all seen shows and the memes. Gordon Ramsay has a well-deserved reputation as a chef and a restaurateur extraordinaire. But how much of his persona is true, and how much is fabricated? Keep watching this video till the end to find out. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more. What do you think? Is Ramsay rude even to his fellow chefs, or does he have a different side? Let's know what you think in the comments below. People who dislike him say he's rude and obnoxious, and that he insults, abuses, and humiliates his team. He has a long list of detractors, including some of the world's most famous chefs, such as Jacques Pepin and Anthony Bourdain. Those who have previously worked with Ramsay, on the other hand, see a different side to the story. Off-screen, chefs who have worked under or with him praise his management style and personality, noting that the bad guy persona only appears in certain situations. So who is the real Gordon Ramsay? Tash Pericek moved to London on a 2-year visa from New Zealand in order to travel around Europe. That plan changed when he accepted a position as assistant manager at Maze, a Michelin-starred Gordon Ramsay restaurant in London. She spent a year working late-night shifts managing volatile personalities on the kitchen staff and serving Gordon Ramsay's celebrity friends in his home before quitting to travel as planned. Here's what it was like to work for the notoriously demanding celebrity chef. Pericek initially applied for a position as a receptionist at Maze. She had years of experience in the restaurant industry, including a stint as general manager at the age of 22, but she wanted to try something new. "I just thought I want to take an easy job," she said. During her interview, Maze's general manager and restaurant director laughed as she looked over her impressive resume, insisting that she work one night as a receptionist and one night as a waitress before deciding which job she wanted. Pericek, a people person with a passion for hospitality, preferred working on the restaurant floor to sitting behind a desk. She started as a waitress and was quickly promoted to assistant manager. As assistant manager, she was the liaison between the floor and the kitchen. If she had a problem with the food or service, she would speak with the head chef, a man with a fiery personality to rival Ramsay's. "He was a very difficult chef," she said. "He was like what you see on Kitchen Nightmares. I saw him throwing pots and pans at staff, and he'd scream at me in the middle of service. There was a night where I had the chef literally standing right in my face, screaming at me, and I had to pretend like that was fine." Her interactions with Ramsay were more pleasant. He went to the restaurant about every other week, and she ran into him a few times. He'd come in, say hi, come into the kitchen, check that everything's okay, she said. It was fun and quite entertaining. Ramsay, on the other hand, had his moments. When Pericek arrived at Ramsay's house to supervise a Christmas Eve dinner, she found him swearing on the phone about the chairs his assistant had ordered. "What the fuck do you call these chairs?" she said. He yelled. "They're so terrible, I wouldn't throw them on a fucking bonfire." The chef then drove across London to retrieve chairs from one of his restaurants. "There is the Ramsay most people know," she said. "But actually, he was great. He turned to us and said, 'Relax, you aren't at work. Enjoy, have a glass of champagne.' So we had a Christmas Eve toast with Gordon." James Corden and David and Victoria Beckham were also present at the party. David Beckham, according to Pericek, was the only one who introduced himself to the kitchen staff. "A small gesture, but it says a lot," she said. She enjoyed working with driven professionals. "You don't get a job at a Michelin-starred restaurant by chance. It's at the pinnacle of the industry, and it's evident in the passion that each sommelier, server, and chef brings to their work. Every single person that works in a Michelin-starred restaurant is a professional," she said. "It's a really incredible environment to be a part of." Several other chefs who have worked with him have also shared their stories. One of them said, "Gordon Ramsay is a genuinely funny man." Despite Gordon Ramsay's serious demeanor in the kitchen, Season 8 Hell's Kitchen contestant Nona Johnson, nee Sivley, claims the celebrity chef has a seriously funny side. She said, "Gordon is really funny, like really funny, and I know that as a viewer watching. I'm laughing because the things he says are funny, but he's generally really funny, and he cracks jokes, and really one of the hardest things was not laughing when he would shout out in anger and frustration." She continues by describing how Ramsay's fellow chefs on Hell's Kitchen supported her and how it wasn't unusual for them to discuss his outbursts after the cameras had stopped rolling. She specifically mentions one instance that stands out in her memory. The TV audience never saw this, but he was shouting at everyone saying how terrible the service went and blah blah blah, all of these things. And he said, "You guys are trying to fuck me up in the ass sideways from Sunday." And we all just stood there like, "Yeah, chef, that's right. That's what we're doing, yep." Because we didn't know what to do, you just went, "Yeah, chef." But yeah, we talked about that one later. For many chefs, Gordon is almost like a father figure. Is Gordon on Hell's Kitchen and Masterchef really that much of a father figure to his mentees? According to Chef Corey Sutton, the season 19 winner of Hell's Kitchen, the answer to that question is indeed yes. Even though she acknowledges that Ramsay does shout a lot, she and her fellow chefs wouldn't actively try to avoid his opinions or criticism. Instead, they made every effort to obtain his approval and advice. When he's there teaching you and talking to you like one-on-one, it's really a fatherly moment, Sun told Mashed in a recent interview. He truly sees something in you, and he's giving you the time of day because he knows you can do it. And it's such an amazing experience to even be in his kitchen, have your name even be in his vocabulary for some time. And when he praises you on something, it's like, wow, this is a huge compliment that this multi-Michelin star restaurant chef is saying, good job, this is amazing. Gordon Ramsay isn't quite the badass he seems to be. Given his humble demeanor, admirable parenting abilities, and father figure mentoring, it wouldn't be entirely incorrect to describe Gordon Ramsay as a badass. However, Paula Deen might give you some grief for that viewpoint. In an interview, Deen said, "The first time I've ever met and worked with Gordon, I said, 'Gordon, I'm going home and I'm going to ruin your reputation.' He said, 'How's that, Paula?' I said, 'Because everybody thinks you're such a badass and I'm going to tell them what a cream puff you really are.'" She describes Ramsay as sweet and very kind, and while he can throw around what she calls some very saucy language, she says she can dish it right back at him. However, she did note that she wasn't able to quite match the level of critique that Ramsay is known for giving his chefs, saying she hates to poo-poo on somebody's parade. Gordon Ramsay has the potential to be as inspiring as you might expect. Even though Gordon Ramsay is supposedly nice, kind and humble, etc., his fans, including other chefs, still have a certain amount of respect for him. One of those chefs is Nyesha Arrington. Even though she has demonstrated some pretty impressive culinary prowess on shows like Top Chef and Guy's Grocery Games, she says Ramsay was the first celebrity chef she really connected with. In a recent interview, she stated, "I worked for the chef Joel Rubicon, and probably this had to be 2008 maybe or 2009. Gordon Ramsay walked through the kitchen when I was working, and I was like, oh my god." He was walking around the kitchen and looking at everyone's station, and I was in awe. I just think that Ramsay has been a chef that really took cooking to the next level. Way back then, I said, well, I'd love to work with him one day. After meeting Ramsay on the set of Masterchef, Arrington is now collaborating with him on a new program called Next Level Chef. Working on Next Level Chef was the best thing to happen to her in 2021, according to her, and she described meeting Ramsay at the time as a powerful moment. And that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching. Do let us know your thoughts on this video in the comments below.